What's up, guys? Now, today we're talking about advances in women's rights in the 21st century. Now, of course, I'm not a misogynist. I'm also not a feminist. I believe everyone's equal. We should, get into men and women type shit, alright? But, for the sake of this video, because it's what I'm talking about, we're talking about women for once. Now, women have always been, let's say, not treated fairly past history. All right, back then they were barely treated fairly by most social, most social environments. Some countries did, but usually no, not everyone. And then they were complained by witches. Then they weren't allowed to vote. Then they did, but then they were discriminated against. Tax discrimination, pay discrimination, and also abuse and rape, etc., like stuff like that. In fact, actually, in Italy, until 1930s, 1940s, there was a law that legally allowed the victim, the person who raped you, to be able to just marry you to escape the consequences. All right, so that sucks ass. Now, specifically, this is America. Now, first of all, first in was it the Nevada Human Resources thing. All right, they had a problem about the 1993 Family Care Act. Now, that's not the exact name, but basically what it means that if you're a male or a female who has a family, it doesn't have to be a baby, right? It doesn't have to be a baby. It also can be a family member in a medical or family emergency. Now, you have 12 weeks of leave. Now, however, some places offer you half of that place paid leave, which basically means that you don't have to go to work, but you still get your salary, and well, your position will not be terminated unless you actually admission to quit. Now, problem is here though, because in Nevada, a woman was like, okay, I have a problem. I got my, paid leave. I did the act that was totally legal, and I got terminated. My position was terminated, given to someone else. So I need, to bring this up to court. So, brought it up to court. She won. She got her job back, etc., etc. That's an example. So basically, that was okay. Second thing is, now moving on, 2003, 2009. All right, this is like the near start. President Barack Obama, all right, Obama passed the Fair Pay Act. Now, it's not its full name. It has the name of some sort of person in front of it, but I'm not gonna go into that. Basically, it's called the Fair Pay Act. Now, basically, because this is what happened, all right? Back then, pay discrimination. Pay discrimination to this day is still a thing, all right? To this day, women only get paid 77 cents to a dollar a man makes. Now, yes, there are valid arguments on why this happens because not a lot of women actually do jobs that make a lot of money, right? Not a lot of people. You don't know a lot of women CEOs. You know a lot of women managers, etc., etc. And not saying that women can't do it, they just aren't in that position. Now, passing that, it also allowed women to enter the military. Basically, like, okay, we already got women on Supreme Court. We've all got women working for normal men's jobs. Now we're gonna let you work in the military. So that opened up 330,000 available military positions. Mostly private soldiers or sergeants or low rank stuff. Not many high ranks. However, eventually they were allowed. Okay, basically now you can be a general. Basically, any position that you could have before, now you can't. So basically, that's a good thing because now one day we might get a female general or something. Now, moving on, of course, there was also this instance, right? There was a party in America. I don't know what because, well, I don't really care about much about American stuff. I live in Vietnam, so it was a female president with a female party, right? So she actually ran for president but lost. However, that's really big progress because number one, nobody questioned the fact that she was a female trying to run for president. Number two, it showed that people really didn't care if you're a woman anymore. Like people actually respect each other better. So yeah, women's rights and abilities actually went up. However, there are currently right now some controversies, right? Some nowadays that led to the rise of idiot feminism, as I could call it. So feminism, equality between all genders, which, well, I'm a true feminist, even though I said now I'm not a feminist. By that I mean I'm an idiot feminist. Idiot feminisms are just sexist people, or people that stretch feminism a little too far. It's like yellow news, alright? Basically, like you're stretching the truth a little bit too far here. Because, well, they use that as proof to basically say that women are better than men, even though you're not exactly better than anyone. Men aren't exactly better than you, because, well, yeah. So in the end, women have got really a lot more freedoms and more careers and stuff. But still, there's new problems that come up every century. So yeah, thanks for listening to all this say. Goodbye, and I'll see you next time.